Hey, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Hazeeq, and in this video we're going to be taking a look at BAND against USDT. I do want to say that I'm not a financial advisor. You should do your own research before investing money into crypto. If you haven't seen the previous update, make sure to watch that before watching this one. It's going to be linked in the top right hand corner of the screen. Also, there's a donation link down below in the description. Feel free to support the kids in Gaza. Even a few dollars are going to make a change. Now, let's jump into the daily chart. So, jumping into the charts, you can see that we have a massive Fibonacci retracement. And the first thing that you notice, especially if you have been watching my videos for quite a while, is that we have a very beautiful bottom structure here. And it is no coincidence that it is around the 1.618, which was our technical target to the downside. So what we did a long time ago is we set up a Fibonacci retracement from the all-time high at $23.50 down to the bottom here, the local bottom at the time from October 2020. So we printed this massive move to the upside. We went all the way from $3.30 to $23 in a span of, 6 months. 7 months, whatever. And then we started losing that low. And this is when the Fibonacci retracement comes into play. We can essentially take a look at what levels we could be expecting to be met. And then you have this 1.272, 1.414, and the 1.618. And the 1.618 is usually met after you start losing your low of the Fib retracement. And as you can see, that was precisely sitting at around about $1. And as you can see, we did have multiple bounces off of the 1.618. Precisely, we had one bounce over here in November 2022, which is when Bitcoin bottomed out. And then we had a really strong move to the upside there. We got to $3.67. And then we did the same in June 2023. And then throughout the last 6 months of 2023, we were essentially hovering above the 1.618 fib. And we were accumulating on Patreon. Our average buying price, I believe, is around $1.38, which is not bad, considering that the all-time high is only $23.50. And I think we're going to be going way past the all-time high in this upcoming bull market for BAND protocol, as I'm very bullish on the Cosmos ecosystem. So you can also see that we do have a massive resistance trend line. This yellow trend line in the middle of the chart was a massive resistance that kept rejecting us every single time we come up. We get rejected until we break above it in January 2023, and then we have one back test of support, and then we have another back test of support. So this trend line, this yellow trend line, is officially our support trend line, and I don't think we're going to be hitting it pretty much ever at this point, because it's going to be way too low for us to come back down to that trend line. But this was a good indicator for you, to look at in terms of deciding whether you want to buy or not. So you had a 1.618 retest and the retest of the yellow trend line at the same time here in June 2023. And yeah, this was a really good entry. If you didn't and you're looking to buy in right now, let's see what levels we can target. So immediately you can see that BAND is getting pretty overextended here. You don't want to be buying at these local tops here. That's not smart, just like it wasn't smart buying all the way up here. So I think we bought in somewhere after this retracement here in January 2023, if I'm not mistaken. But if you're looking to buy in right now, the first level I would look forward to is $1.95, which is the 1.272 fib. And if I'm being honest, I do think we're going to break below that, but you don't know how low you're going to go. So there's always a risk factor in waiting. But this is why you should have been buying down here, so that you don't stress out when we start getting closer to the bull market. But I understand some of you were late, some of you didn't know, some of you had other things to do. So right now, setting up buy limit orders is extremely important. We can also set up this resistance block here. And we have been retesting this a few times in 2023, in October, in November, in December. So coming back down to that is very possible. So $1.70 down to $1.63. You can start building a position around those prices. Of course, not a financial advice. And of course, you have the 1.414 at $1.48. Then what you can do is you can take a look at this local low. And this is a perfect level for us to target as well, $1.33. As you can see, we had a few back tests of support here in October and November 2023. Then this was our resistance in June, July 2023. And then once again, this was our support in December 2022 and also kind of our support back in June, July 2022. So this is a historically very important level. And I would not like to see us lose this level. So hopefully we can just have a nice bounce. Hopefully we can create a higher low and then move forward with this uptrend, because we want to be continuing this uptrend. We do not want to be breaking the uptrend, the potential uptrend that we have. So if you drop down below this low, that is not good. That is not good here, because you're going to be continuing the downtrend that you're in. What we want to do is we want to start printing highs, higher highs, and higher lows, so that we have this nice uptrend. So like I said, holding $1.32 is crucial. Of course, there might be wicks, kind of like what we saw here in August 2023. So make sure you have those buy limit orders set up and ready to go, even below $1.32. You can set up another Fibonacci retracement here, just to kind of see what are some of the fibs that you can target. Let's remove the larger fib and this block. You can take a look at the 0.5, $1.55. You can take a look at the golden ratio, $1.39 roughly. All of these, and the lower you go, the more tokens you buy. Simple as that. Now let's switch over to the weekly chart. And before we continue with the video, I quickly want to mention my Patreon that's linked down below in the description. If you enjoy my content, you want to get more exclusive content, and you want to support me at the same time, definitely feel free to check out the Patreon, because you're going to get a 7-day free access on my Patreon and an instant access to all of my content since October 2021, which is when I started. You'll get access to content like exclusive weekly podcasts, and we're starting to invite guests already. We have 40 plus low cap gem posts. We have a bunch of project reviews. We have a bunch of resources that are going to help you save time and make more money with this upcoming bull market. So this is definitely a great exchange of value for the both of us. And once again, there's a 7-day free trial. Feel free to check it out. You can leave anytime, and let's continue with the video. Switching over to the weekly chart, you can see that we are breaking out of this falling wedge pattern, which is something that we discussed in the last band protocol update. We also gave you this massive support block between $1.57.5 down to $1.09 based on these 2020 touches. And my average buy-in price is within the realms of this support block, which was always the goal. As long as it's down here, that's great. The lower it is, of course, the better, but you can't buy the absolute bottom all the time. So we bounced off of this pink trend line multiple times, and now we're seeing a very nice breakout. Now, if this continues and for some reason band protocol goes against the market, we could have a nice retracement all the way up to $3.30, which is a very strong resistance level for us. Once we are able to break above that, I think it's fair to say that the bear market bottom has been printed, because this was the level that we lost and dumped into this bear market bottom in October 2022. And we tried to retrace, we got rejected from it in November 2022. And it's just a really, really strong level. And a lot of people probably bought in here, and then they waited this entire time, and they're going to be selling once we get back up to that level. Why would they be selling, you ask? Well, because they don't want to be in the market anymore. And some people are going to be buying from those levels and waiting for the next move up. But I'm just letting you know that there's going to be resistance within this area at around about $3.30. If we're looking at the all-time high, you can see it was around about $23. We can set up a fib retracement to see what our potential targets are going to be looking like. So we have $39 here, we have $59, and we have $106. Of course, it depends on what your risk management is, depends on what your financial goals are. But $39 seems like it's a pretty decent price, seems very doable. If we get super bullish and we get really parabolic with band protocol, $59 to $60 of course is possible. From where we are right now, those are still huge gains. So we can try to measure the move from where we are right now. That would be approximately 2,580% to the upside. From my average buying price, that is approximately 4,200%. So you can see how much of a different, the average buying price plays. And this is why on our Patreon, we try to buy the bottom. That's what we teach on the channel and on the Patreon. So if you buy in right now, you're looking only at 2,500%. If you bought in with me when I was buying, you're potentially looking at 4,000% to the upside. That's a massive difference, guys. So keep that in mind, and hopefully the next pullback we get, you are going to be dollar cost averaging, because let me tell you, when we get the next crash, and I do think there's going to be somewhat of a crash before we get to the bull market, just to kind of shake out the last weak hands. Once that happens, that is going to be your last opportunity to buy in before we get to the bull market, before we start going parabolic. So just make sure you take advantage of that opportunity. Of course, this is not financial advice. Taking a look at the weekly RSI, there is a nice level here that is looking at us, and hopefully we can retest this as support. So you can see we had a few bounces before. We had a bounce in July 2022, in October 2022, in June 2023, in October 2023. So this next time around, we have a pullback. We could dump all the way down to the pink trend line before we get to the Bitcoin halving and eventually start pumping like crazy. So draw this out on your chart. And the RSI obviously is in the overbought, so is the stochastic. If we take a look at the MACD, we did print a bullish cross in September, which was roughly it was essentially the bottom there. So that was a really good entry. The stochastic was in the bottom there. The RSI was bouncing off of this support trend line. That was a really good entry point. The volume started coming in just slightly, but nothing significant here. So I would be waiting for retracement back to the 20 EMA, which is around about $1.58 at the moment. But by the time we hit it, we could be sitting at $1.70. So just make sure you try to buy off of the 20 EMA, as this is going to be our support band during the bull market. You're going to keep bouncing off of it and just keep moving forward. So thank you all for watching, guys. Let me know, what is your average buying price? What are your targets for the bull market? Stay safe and have a great day.